Hi everybody, I'm joined here with blockmonoid who just won the 231st Billy Weekly. Congratulations, Block.
Thank you, Thwal.
So we were counting you. This is your seventh victory for 2024.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
it's definitely fun to be at the top right now.
Yes. So, okay, so he started with oars and archery, which is not exactly.
Yeah, that's not a great choice. I mean, oars obviously, but yeah, not good starting cards. I had pottery and sailing.
Okay.
Yeah, and I chose sailing, which is good because then he probably used oars, would have used oars and gotten my sailing. So I'm
Mhm.
happy with that.
Yeah, also, I guess sailing has the advantage that like it develops your board and pottery is not that useful at the beginning, and also sailing is a good counter to clothing, so
Right,
it
right.
covers more or less everything. And also if the other person has something like metalworking, you can still hope to get some castles and
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I felt like sailing would help me develop faster.
yeah, yeah.
And pottery would just develop score, but not develop my board.
Mhm. Yeah. So, oh gosh.
Uh,
Okay, so metalworking for him, you got Code of Laws, writing. I mean, I guess.
Not the best cards for me either.
No. Yes, that's true. But at least you are covered against clothing, I guess.
Yeah.
So he draws. Yeah. City states not great either. And tools.
These are really not good starting cards for him.
Yes. Then you got domestication. And then did you do sailing again?
I think so.
Yeah. So got mysticism.
Um,
Yeah, I mean this your board is quite nice. I mean nothing to score, but at least domestication can play things. Mysticism at this point melds and draws. Like,
all right. So at this point, we haven't seen clothing, and so
yeah,
I
yeah,
thought,
yeah, yeah,
he probably hasn't drawn it yet, but it's very dangerous if I draw it.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. I
I I
in
was
the
a little
match.
surprised by this tools. I mean, I guess he thought, oh, he'll get a three that will be green, yellow, or purple, and then clothing won't be so painful, and he'll have the tech advantage.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I thought the same. Like this, I think is a dangerous move in the sense that, like, even just like here, if sailing finds you finds you clothing, it's a really bad spot. Like like melding something, I think it's not necessarily a bad idea. I mean, clearly you don't have clothing, I think, otherwise you would have melded at the beginning, I think.
right,
Or like, I don't know, like it would be a genius play to to say, oh, I keep clothing for this very moment.
yeah.
But yeah. So he made the wrong call because was it the first card? Like you get it using mysticism, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this was a like I'm not a big fan of going to H3 and
I
like
agree because a lot of the H3 cards are kind of weak actually. Um, and unless you get something like paper that will allow you to jump to H4.
mm,
Um, but even if he got paper right now, he wouldn't be able to splay.
yeah. I think H3 cards are not necessarily weak, but they don't give much score in general, and like they are good at things that in this situation I don't think they are very useful. Like for instance, machinery is very good, is a very good card, but in this case, like you're stealing a one. I mean, it's not that really.
Right.
um, yeah. So he returns. city states get engineering, which yes was not. And now,
Although I was kind of worried, blindly drawing with mysticism that I might cover my castles and become vulnerable to engineering. But if that happens, it's a minor loss, I think.
yeah, also
But yeah,
like you have, yeah, like yes.
and I figured one of those two, or I guess three remaining cards had to be clothing. I lucked out that it was the one that got melded,
Mm-mm.
so I was happy
What
with
did
that.
you draw? What did you draw?
I scored agriculture. I drew. What did I draw? With a wheel.
Mm.
Yeah, and then I scored agriculture, city states, and metalworking.
Mm.
And I figured at that point he had all the red ones.
Yeah.
So that last one is probably a red one that he tried to hide at the bottom.
Mm.
Um,
So here, yeah, he had to draw and meld. Like there is nothing else you can do,
mhm.
because otherwise you get monument.
And he had to hope he didn't get a blue or purple,
Yeah,
blue or red.
yeah. I mean, there's literally nothing else he can do, right? Like playing with engineering is not. So okay, he gets machinery. Here, had you considered sharing clothing?
Um, Briefly, but I didn't want him to get a score.
But
And
just I thought 1 point for like you
a new
draw
card for two.
and get
Yeah.
4 4. I don't know.
I don't know. I wanted pottery down, and
Ah,
I also figured that that one was a red. So I thought,
okay. So that
yeah,
this way you would have. But I don't know. In a situation like this, I don't mind giving him 1 point when you score 4. I don't-
right, right.
And then you would have a 2 in your hand.
Which might be construction, which would be excellent. I did end up scoring construction pretty early.
Mm.
There was one moment where I could have um done mysticism, and the first card would have been construction, and I would have
Ah,
gotten them.
I
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
So use domestication, draw, archery, I guess. And then clothing, score 2. Yeah, and here for him it's really bad because again he has nothing to do. Like he can only draw and hope. Like and also you can steal with archery, so even the
Yeah.
tech advantage is gone.
Yeah, I like that I didn't have to worry about him holding on to cards he always had to meld.
Yes. So you got up. You score some more, and score some more.
But now he's getting very lucky with optics, and that was not fun for me because he very quickly
Yeah.
could have achieved.
Yeah.
I mean, that's yeah, and then he gets another one. Uh,
So this is Reformation colonialism. Because here I was thinking maybe he could consider
Translation.
translation. Yeah, just I
Uh-huh.
don't know if had been gunpowder maybe. But I mean for Reformation, yeah, and colonialism, maybe I wouldn't do it. Okay, so here, what did you do? Mysticism? Was that done? No, you achieved. And then
I had
mysticism.
to choose a one, and then I had to hope he didn't get lucky again with
Okay.
optics.
And here he didn't. I mean, you must have been happy to see fermenting, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, he's played 3 out of the 5
Mm,
threes with crowns. So yeah, and I was happy. Yeah, fermenting was very nice because then I could go up in draw a bunch of cards and go up in tech pretty fast.
mm. So he got feudalism and then medicine.
Yeah. And so again, I had to achieve. And here it was kind of a tough decision because I mean, he could do optics, and maybe he'll get paper, which was the only
Yeah.
remaining
Yeah.
three with crowns. But most likely those two remaining threes did not have crowns.
Yes.
Um, and uh, and I would like to get a three, but I can't unless I do fermenting. And fermenting would get rid of the pile of threes, and then he'd do
Yes.
optics on a four and have pretty good odds.
Mm-mm.
So I didn't want to do fermenting. And I didn't want to do mysticism necessarily because I didn't want to cover something with that last two. So I decided to just do pottery and get rid of the two.
Yeah.
Um,
And then
and
use
then
mysticism to.
use mysticism the following turn. Yeah. Um, and it was actually a question of which card to get rid of out of the two in my hand. I think I had monotheism. I had the one was the wheel, and I think the two was monotheism,
Mm.
if I remember correctly. Let me look. Yeah, monotheism. And I think I actually should have kept the wheel because the
Mm.
wheel is kind of a little bit more useful. Like
Yeah,
later on in the
monotheism, like
yeah.
unless you're sharing it and you need to take to get rid of a lot of cards, it's not so. Yeah, we will, I think that's, but I mean, you also have fermenting, which is in this at this stage better than the wheel. So.
Yeah, but I guess I was thinking that if I return monotheism to pottery, then I just draw it back to my
Yeah,
hand,
yeah,
so I don't get anything new.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
So we return the wheel, score the wheel, and get.
and I got currency, and I was really happy about that.
Yeah, so you could do monument with the right setting.
Yes, and that was actually a consideration later on in the game. Um, so
So he got education, and so
and he can't use it right away because of
yeah,
archery.
yes.
But I'm surprised he didn't use it the following turn. I'm surprised he didn't just draw a three right now or something like that.
Mhm. Yeah, so he alchemy.
I mean, the thing is now that yeah, I would have just maybe wasted a turn with medicine here and did a no demand so
Mm,
that
yeah,
I would have to do mysticism on that three and get a four in my hand rather than right now I do mysticism and I get a four on my board,
yes.
which is much better.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he was hoping in paper, I guess. Which, I mean, odds are not great. I mean, it was a 50-50, I guess. Yeah, with paper, yeah, I mean, still. Yeah, so gunpowder. Here you
And I
are.
thought gunpowder was going to be able to use alchemy. But he got a very nice optics
Mm.
covering up alchemy next turn.
So here you were expecting him to use education, I guess.
Yeah, I thought he would use education here.
Mm.
Jump up to age six. I I love age six cards, and when I'm really far behind, I want that quick tech jump,
Mm.
and then with the hope that I can jump even further.
Mm.
Uh, that's what I'm doing in a game against you right now.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing, like in this position, you draw so much with fermenting that,
Hmm.
like the tech up, I'm not entirely sure. Like I think like hoping for pirate code was one of a few things that could save the day,
Mm.
which is what actually happened. Like otherwise, like like I don't know, you would get 3, 4, 5 probably. I don't know.
Mhm.
I mean, of course you can hope, but like you get maybe like atomic theory, which then finds you like maybe um, evolution, then yes, but I don't know.
Or even lighting, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yes, yeah, lighting for the score, yes. Okay, so you achieve 3. He finds experimentation, gets enterprise,
And I
then
was actually kind of concerned about Enterprise stealing gunpowder eventually.
mm,
Uh,
yeah, also because you had a lot of yes, to that then quite
yeah. But you'd have to steal clothing first.
yes,
I was also a
and
little
under
worried about,
clothing there was sailing.
right. That's true. Yeah. Um, I was also worried about Compass trying to steal pottery or fermenting.
Hmm.
Um,
I mean, the moment enterprise is out, I think becomes much safer. Because I mean, like if enterprise changes hands, usually the person who got enterprise starts using it eventually.
right.
Like so here, did you use Potter in Achieve? I guess.
Yeah, that was pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Now he finds pirate code with
Error code. Yeah, so the 5 is gone.
yeah. Yes. So he uses pirate codes, gets a bunch of ones. And yeah, so here he was forced, sort of forced to do that, I guess, because otherwise you would use gunpowder and I don't
Right. Right. And yeah, here I debated between clothing is obviously like, just gonna score me 5s, but I figured I want a hand of a lot of 5s before I start scoring things so that I have a little bit of flexibility in terms of what I'm doing.
Mm.
Um, I also wanted to draw a lot of 5s at this point because remember I had currency in my hand.
Yes. And
So
so you
I
wanted
have a 2, a 4, I want 2 5s, and then I eventually want 2 6s.
mm,
So that I could get monument with currency.
I see.
Um, yeah. So yeah, I drew with fermenting. I got coal, banking, and steam engine, which was a pretty nice draw.
Mm, mm, mm.
The only thing I would have liked more would be statistics instead of steam engine.
Yeah. So and then you get
Then I clothing and I scored measurement.
mm, mm. Yeah, so here he has to achieve because otherwise, well, I mean, not has to, but like sort of. I mean, I wouldn't wait much to. Here, I was thinking if in his, I was considering for him to use enterprise.
Uh-huh. To
Just,
steal clothing. Yeah.
well,
And
to see
then
something in the sense that okay, if you give him gunpowder, he loses a 5, but then you are not in a great position, I think.
right.
And it is true he would be giving you a 5, which it's not for free, but then he can maybe use pirate code more. I don't
Well, so I might have given him gunpowder here.
mm,
If he did enterprise, I would give him gunpowder. Um, in order to keep the green available.
mm,
He wouldn't have a chance to use gunpowder because this is his second action. And
mm,
then I would get a 5 on my board, and then I would probably melt coal right away, and then he
mm.
can't use gunpowder.
I see, I see.
Yeah. and Steam Engine or banking would be backup in case he starts getting more factories.
Mm,
So I would have been happy actually if he did Enterprise here.
mm.
Because pirate code was actually pretty annoying.
No, no,
And I had
it definitely was. Did he do it? I
yeah,
think.
and I debated for a long time here after he did that. I thought, well, maybe I'll do ferment clothing to score one of the fives. Well, so I it was like one option was clothing twice to get 10 points,
Mhm.
getting me to 33. But then he does pirate code. Uh, I think he could have done it twice before well, he could do pirate code, get enough points, and then do experimentation. And I think I would have been too short. Um,
Like
or he,
like after he played statistics,
yeah.
use pirate code only once, right?
Well, what's underneath Enterprise? I thought something else was underneath Enterprise. No.
Education.
Hmm.
So here I was
Um,
expecting. I mean, I think banking was a good move because like you get this play and pirate codes is dead basically at that point. But
hmm,
like when I was commentating, I was just thinking, okay, block can do pottery twice or clothing twice, and then use mysticism to get a random meld and
right.
because this with this at this stage he could only use pirate code to steal 2 points and then
Hmm.
you would have still have 30.
31. Yeah. I don't know why I thought that he could get me under 30 somehow.
Maybe it was before he
He
played
got
statistics.
statistics. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you were still in a very strong position, and I think banking was also nice because, like, um, I mean,
I had the potential to eventually steal pirate code back.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah.
So, so use play. Yeah. Also, after this, like, for him to get enough crowns would have been really like one thing.
Right.
Sorry.
I had to consider, he could play with statistics, but actually we'd both just get one
Yes.
crown, so I'd
Yeah.
keep the advantage.
Yes. Also, there is one thing like pirate code is really deadly if your opponent has no crowns.
Hmm.
Like if your opponent has some crowns, then it becomes much harder to keep using it because like it's like you can do it maybe once or twice and then you don't have cards anymore. But like if the other person has zero crowns or one crown, then there is a risk of like, oh, let's pyrite the whole core pile. Okay,
One
so
disadvantage of banking is that it covered up the leaves in the green pile, so I no longer get as much power out of fermenting.
yeah,
Yeah, here I was happy that um he got societies, which made things even weaker, in his crown advantage. So but then the next card was physics, which was a little disappointing because I really was tempted to steal back pirate code, but now I can't.
yeah.
Yeah. Here was a tactical decision. So I know the safe method right now would be
Yeah,
pottery, return a five, get a six, pottery on that six, and then I've gotten 11 points. I'm at 34, and the very next turn I can either mysticism or meld the six in my hand and achieve the six.
mhm.
But I really wanted to have the two fives for currency
Yeah,
to
of
get
course, of course.
monument. So that's why I did the fermenting
Mhm.
first and then the pottery, which of course left me short when he got machine tools out. So it's a little frustrating that he got something powerful. But I really wanted to have monument open as a
Mhm.
possibility for achievement.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just you were sort of unlucky with what happened. Like I think machine tools was more or less the only thing. Well, no, okay, maybe also canning would have worked, I guess.
And canning is what I drew. I drew canning and
Yeah, okay.
classification. And then I thought, well, physics would probably fail actually at that point. But he got lucky.
So machine tools at this point, there was nothing you could do. I think at least I stared at it for a bit. Like I, I couldn't find something you could do to.
Yeah, there's no way for me to achieve the six, but I figured
Yeah,
he's
you
gonna
would
have
get
to share
seven.
machine tools. He'll have to share machine tools, giving me enough points to achieve the seven. So, but I need to have the factories. So here, that first one was good, but not great. But then I knew that the last card was canning, which I had just returned with Potter,
I see.
and so that was perfect.
Nice. Yeah.
And now
And
I've got the seven in hand. He has to share machine tools to achieve the six,
you have
but then
money.
he gives me the points for achieving the seven.
Yes. Oof, sanitation.
Yeah. And here I could have achieved melded seven and achieved, but I decided there's no danger, so I might as well get monument with industrialization.
Yes.
'Cause- Yeah.
But so
And then
the seven
I,
was publications.
yeah, my seven was publications, right? And I should not have splayed the purples here because now we're tied on light bulbs and he could do physics. And I realized that right afterwards.
Mm.
Um, if he had done physics and it failed, I would have had to return. I had atomic theory and encyclopedia in uh, in my hand, so I would have to return atomic theory first, then encyclopedia, and then do
And
canning to
differentiation.
tuck the atomic, then tuck the
Ah,
encyclopedia,
yeah,
and then I could do, and by then atomic theory would be exposed at the top, and I could do atomic theory and get wonder. But yeah, that was unnecessary complication, and yeah, I almost made a big mistake there.
yeah.
Well, I did make a big mistake, almost paid for it, you know.
But actually, I think the safest thing would have just been um, publication and then achieving, no?
I guess so, but didn't want that he would like meld more factories and
Mm.
then industrialization. I wouldn't get the
Mm.
monument right away.
No, because I was just thinking like the moment you have um, publications down, then you sort of get to play also a bunch of things like
I
blue.
get to play yellow and blue. I hadn't played red or
No, no,
purple at
no, no.
that point.
I know. But I was just thinking, I don't know. Like what? Maybe it depends what he had under machine tools. Yeah, yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
And also, if I share industrialization, he's gonna get with a decent odds, he's gonna get a green card.
Yeah, it's yeah. In any case, then he didn't see physics, and you win without. Well,
Yep.
congratulations.
Thank you. Definitely had a lucky start there, so um, but it was a fun game. Yeah.
I think his only very questionable decision is the one with tools.
Hmm. But I think at that point it's kind of frustrating, like you're just not getting any good
Yeah.
ones at all, and your opponent already has like three or four cards out, and yeah, I would understand the frustration there. And the yeah, attempt to get something new, and get some advantage.
Okay, well, that's all. And thank you all for listening. See you in the next one.
Thank you to all.